Please pause for the moment of silence. Please stand for the pledges. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now for the Texas Pledge. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
An update on Hurricane Dorian's devastating aftermath.
And Coach Franco hosts this week's edition of Book of the Week.
Also, I have cross country in studio to talk about their season.
All this and more here on NHSTV Live. Hurricane Dorian has left the U.S., but its effects are still being felt heavily on the Caribbean and the coast. Dorian struck the Bahamas at a Category 5 with 235 miles per hour winds last Monday, and currently 70,000 people have been displaced. There have been 44 confirmed deaths, and the death toll is expected to rise in the coming weeks. Hurricane Dorian's outcome left thousands without power and water, hitting the coastal regions of Florida the hardest at a Category 3. Georgia and the Carolinas were struck last Thursday at a Category 2, with several tornadoes breaking out in the eastern parts of the Carolinas as well.
4 missing crew members aboard the Golden Ray were missing after the cargo ship overturned in the coast of Brunswick, Georgia early Sunday morning. The Coast Guard in Charleston immediately noticed the ship's collapse and were deployed, saving 20 people at the scene. Coast Guard said there are no immediate signs of significant fuel spills or water pollution, although the efforts are underway to contain the pollution that may arise as the result of the rollover.
Thanks, Macy. Now Coach Franco has an update on the Book of the Week.
One of the books I'm currently reading, I've been reading a series called The Killing Series by Bill O'Reilly. I've read through Killing Patton, Killing the SS. Right now I'm currently reading Killing Great Britain. I've read Killing Reagan, Killing Kennedy, and my personal favorite, Killing Jesus. And, these books do a really cool job of going into the historical side of all of these major assassination attempts, especially, with Jesus and Patton and people like that, especially with current presidents in regard to Kennedy and Reagan. Those were really, really interesting books, and to talk about the history behind it, the background of each person involved, and all these different sides of these books. And what Bill O'Reilly really does is he goes in, especially when Killing Jesus, he gave the historical side. It really wasn't a religious type book, even though obviously it did talk about religion, but it talked more about the history behind it between the Romans and the Jewish people, and the struggle that the Jewish people were really going through, and they finally had somebody. And these books do a really neat job of explaining the historical relevance and the historical significance of what's going on, especially when you get back to talking about killing Patton, George Patton, the leader of the Third Army in World War II, in the Seventh Army. Depends on which time frame you're talking about, but it talks about the assassination attempt by him and who really did it. Was it the United States government, or was it the KGB or somebody like that? And Bill O'Reilly does a really neat job of breaking it down all the way up until his death when the car wreck happened there in the fort in France. And they're just really neat books. They're really neat books in regard to history, and that's obviously a big passion of mine. So they make it fun to read, and for me, they're easy to read books. I do not read very well. I struggle reading, so that helps me out a lot. And they do have some pictures to them. I know for some of y'all that's a big deal. So they do have some pictures and a lot of maps. But those are some of the books that I'm currently reading right now, and I highly encourage you to go pick up some of those, especially the one about Killing Reagan. One of my favorite presidents, and John Hinckley Jr. In his infatuation with who was it? I think it was Jane Fonda. Anyways, one of the famous actresses during the time, and how he wanted to be found popular in the whole thing, and how he wanted to get his name out there where she could find out who he was. And, just stuff like that. That's the stuff that kind of interests me, especially in history. And if you ever get a chance, Coach Russell has a book called Basketball for Dummies. He just finished it. there's a good chance he's going to be able to be a better coach this year because of it. I highly encourage you to ask him to borrow that book. I think it's there in his library, there in his desk. I think he has to reference it every day before he goes to practice. So you might want to ask Coach Russell if he can borrow his Basketball for Dummies.
Thanks, Coach. Also, Monday and Wednesday during Invest, put on your tap shoes and learn to dance with theater on stage in the Pack. Even if you don't own tap shoes, you can still join the fun. Now Shelby's back with our sports update and a live interview with our cross-country team.
Thanks, Ryan. On Friday, the football team played against McKinney North and put on quite a show. Players like Kendall Sims and Xavion Taylor left it all on the field. Xavion especially, as he scored 6 touchdowns by the end of the night. In the end, however, it would not be enough, as the McKinney North Bulldogs would slide past our defense one too many times and would win the game 68-65. I caught up with Coach Poe to talk strategy for this week's matchup. All right, Coach Poe, that was a close game, pretty tough one. What are some things that you guys saw that you need to work on for next game?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of things we need to work on, but, you know, overall, I'm just extremely proud of our players just because they fought to the end, you know, and that's when you get in a game like this and it's going back and forth. It's about a test of wills and making sure you continue to fight and continue to do whatever it takes to win, and these guys did that, and it just didn't happen our way tonight.
Yeah, it's a close one. Well, good luck next week against Grapevine. Everyone make sure to come out and support. Thank you.
Thank you.
I can't wait to see how our Texans will make a turnaround as district approaches. Moving from the field to the court, the Lady Texan volleyball team has a game tomorrow night in Argyle. Everyone come out and support our hardworking athletes. Northwest Cross Country team had a meet this past Saturday, and I actually have seniors Joseph Thomas and Ashley Terrian here in studio. So guys, how did the meet go?
Our meet went really well. The girls got 3rd and the guys got 4th overall.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So far, it's like a really good start to the season.
Awesome. And when do you guys practice for these meets?
We practice every single day, and that does include the weekends. Usually the weekends are more of a long run or a recovery run.
And then how early, like how many miles do you do? And like
for our long runs, like the girls usually go like 5 or 6 and the guys go 7 or 8, so it's a lot.
I would not be able to do that one. When is your next meet?
Our next meet is going to be Saturday.
It's going to be at South Lake.
All right, you guys, thank you so much for coming on to the show. And Texans, make sure to plan to be at their next meet, as I'm sure the cross-country team will really appreciate it.
Thanks, Shelby, and good luck to the cross-country team with the rest of their season.
Check back in tomorrow, where we'll have a sneak peek into the life of our new Spanish teacher and entertainment news.
But today we are going to leave you off with a fun story of the tiny babies you may have seen around the school.
I'm Kaylee Lavin, and I went out and interviewed people asking them about the little plastic babies that are currently trending at our school. Keegan, do you know what the little tiny plastic babies are?
No, I don't. I saw it on some kid's Snapchat story. It's the baby.
No, I've seen them all over Snapchat, and like I have never seen one in person.
Do you know what the little plastic babies are?
I don't, but I've seen them on cupcakes.
Do you think they're funny?
They're cute.
Did you know that students at our school now have them like everywhere and are leaving them in hallways and stuff?
No, I did not. I can't wait to see one.
Abby, do you know what the little plastic babies are?
I've seen them, but like I don't really know what they are.
Yeah, I've seen them at Party City.
Do you?
Yeah, I see them all over the hallways, like on the floor and stuff.
So you've seen people like dropping them and leaving them places?
Oh yeah, one time in lunch I saw this kid walking around and dropping them. It was really weird.
Do you know what the little plastic babies are that everyone has?
No.
Do you want to see a picture?
Yes. Okay.
What are your thoughts?
It's creepy. Here.
Oh my gosh.
What is that? Let me see.
Yeah, someone just like threw it in my bag one day, or threw it at me, and it just landed in my bag. And I've just kept it. What?
It's a baby.
Yeah.
My head's in the way.
I thought it was like baby Jesus at first. I didn't really know, like, what is this?
Tweet us at NHSTV your thoughts and opinions on the little plastic babies. And this has been NHSTV Live.